Good evening. Good evening. I believe my mic is on this time. Unlike the last time we did a Let's Talk Houston Rockets, I am KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Thank you for tuning in. I already got 4 people popped on. Much love. Appreciate that. Let's go and start the conversation. Let's talk about the Rockets. They've lost 2 games in a row after their 7-game winning streak. But these 2 losses, they were very competitive against the reigning champs, Milwaukee Bucks, on Friday. They battled the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday, despite the late arrival, the flight scare because of the weather and everything getting to Memphis. They battled. They competed. They didn't quit. They didn't let a huge deficit against Memphis balloon to even bigger. They fought, pulled within 6 in the fourth quarter. We saw a little bit more of the potential of Alpi Sengun and Christian Wood on the floor together. A combination, that great behind-the-back pass from Sengun to C. Wood in the paint for a bucket. Terry Agent 299, how you doing? I haven't seen you on here in a while, Terry. I've seen you on Twitter. But thank you very much from New Zealand, I believe, is where you are joining the show. What is it? Morning there in New Zealand? Marco, how are you doing? Yo, that's a new name for me. Thank you very much for joining the family on these Rocket Talks. Let's Talk Houston Rockets on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. I got 3 clips lined up so far. Soladilo, how you doing? One, basically they're from yesterday's post-game press conference after the game against the Grizzlies. One from Coach Silas, one from C. Wood, and one from Armani Brooks. Rockets lost to Memphis 113-106. Houston is now 8-18. But the Rockets, they shot 49.4% from the floor, going 38 for 77, but they were only 11 for 33 from three-point range. And during the winning streak, the Rockets were making at least 15 threes a game. They had bugaboo again, foul shooting. They missed 10 free throws, going 19 for 29. So we'll see if that trend continues this week. First up with the Hawks on Monday. But the bench production came through shining gloriously. Had 9 points from KZ Martin, 18 from Armani Brooks, 15 from Alpi Sengun, 12 from Josh Christopher, who's had a great week. Young fella's turned 20 and played well for the Rockets off the bench, run the offense a little bit more. So he's doing a lot. 3 p.m. Okay, cool. So Josh Christopher had a great week, put up big numbers. He did. You still see, as you expect with younger players, especially learning a new position, had a few careless turnovers running the offense, but I think he's got a bright future. I think everybody agrees that the Rockets have a bright future with a lot of their young core. So that's good to see. They're still kind of doing well without Jalen Green and KPJ. D. Titus, what kind of trade would make the Rockets entertain a trade for Christian Wood? Probably got to involve more first-round picks and with limited protections on those picks. And let's talk about that. It was reported, I think, via podcast, Zach Lowe and Tim McMahon, and then written about by aggregators that the Rockets are entertaining trade offers for Christian Wood. And why wouldn't they? Alpha G, thank you very much. Because, and I say this, not bashing Christian Wood, but his timeline for development for stardom, he's 26, will be 27. If the Rockets can get something of value for him, you got Sengun, who's 19, Josh Christopher is 20, Jalen Green, 19, Scoot's young. So they're still going to cling to that core. So if they can get something of legit value for Seawood, they're going to entertain it. They're not going to give him away, nor should they. Then, of course, we get into the other discussion of Christian Wood, and if he asks for too much money that the Rockets don't want to give him in contract talks. So that could be another issue. The Rockets would take a trade for him to not pay Seawood max money. So that's something that will will play out throughout the rest of this season. Well, by the deadline in February 10th. So it's something to talk about. I know some fans want the Rockets to keep Christian Wood, believe he's part of the long-term core. Other fans don't believe Christian Wood is part of the long-term core. So we'll see about how it all plays out. The Hornets, I mean, yeah, he played with the Hornets before. The Warriors, I don't see the Warriors giving up much value for Christian Wood. And pick-wise, James Wiseman, I guess potential, you could believe in him. But some signs of the Warriors don't want to trade him because he's on a rookie contract. He's cheap value, inexpensive value, I should say. So, I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm not sure if the Warriors would entertain giving up their young core for Christian Wood. We'll see how that plays out if they stumble, for the Warriors, of course that is. But let's toss it out there because I'm not sure the offers I've seen for the Warriors. For the Hornets. Alpha G, what do you think about the proposals that you've seen? Because some of them consider the sources. Some folks just make stuff up. We're not sure who they heard it from. It could have been an agent. Could have been just a friend of a friend, on and on. Pat Williams, Kobe White, and a pick for C. Wood. Fusion Velez. The Knicks. Where the Knicks are struggling? Yeah. But who on the young core of the Knicks would the Knicks want to give up that the Rockets would want? Because the Knicks they got a lot of veteran / older players. Obi Toppin, I don't see them giving up. Quentin Grimes scored 27 today in a loss for the Knicks. I don't, they might offer him, but would you want Quentin Grimes to add to the strength of the Rockets' backcourt / wing? So what really would that do for the Rockets from that point of view? So it's interesting, and to see Wood kind of touched on this way back at Media Day because there were rumors about him being in trades during the offseason, approaching Media Day, and he approached us to the media. He's like, wow, this is the first time I've been discussed in trade rumors. So that was a few months ago. And now things are possibly heating up again. Picks from the Knicks, that's okay. But what picks from the Knicks? Again, Knicks are teetering on playoffs. So you're looking at mid-first round. Is that something the Rockets want to give up? Which I'm sure they have protections on it, but I think the Rockets should want lottery picks. That's 10, at least top 10 pick for Christian Wood. And as for the Moon, I want 2. And John Wall, if the Knicks want to take John Wall in that contract, good for them. Rockets can give him up for a top 10 pick and Quentin Grimes, whatever, something of value. The Knicks want to make that mistake? Okay, sure. Why aren't the Rockets starting Şengün at this point of the season? Alpha D, I'll get to that comment about PJ, Oubre, and picks. Kelly Oubre, PJ. Let's hold that thought. We'll get to that in a second. Why are one, Alfie is he gets in foul trouble in the minutes he gets. And and that is an issue. Let's see. He had in 22 minutes against Memphis, he had 4 fouls. So if he starts more minutes, if he gets more minutes, I think he'll get in more foul trouble. So that's an issue right now. Daniel Tice has his moments, but it's clear that Tice was 4 for 8 against the Grizz in 18 minutes, 8.6 boards, 2 block shots. So he gave solid production as a veteran. Solid production. But it's clear that Seawood and Şengün have better chemistry. They just work better together. So it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, and I've said it for a while, it's just a matter of time. But it's interesting that, I mean, because check me if I'm wrong, Rocket fans, isn't Alpi 6'9", 6'10"? One of the things y'all hyped about was during the winning streak was the Rockets that made the change to one big. Well, if Alpi starts, that's not one big. That's two bigs. It's two skilled bigs, but Sengun and C Wood, that's two bigs in the starting lineup. So that'll be a change right there. So that's what I'm saying. Which is it? The success was because of one big in the lineup? Well, then why do you want Alpi to start? Because that would mean the Rockets are going away from the one big back to two bigs. But let me pull up this clip, first clip of the three in tonight's stream will be from Coach Silas, and he touches on a little bit about Sengun and Seawood getting minutes on the floor together against the Grizz. So I'm going to give this the first shot of it, and here we go. Coach Stephen Silas.
Sure. I mean, considering the circumstances, how hard we played last night, how tired the guys were tonight, how we started the game off, was it 11-1 at the first time out or whatever. This is a game, and I told the group this is a game 3 weeks ago, we would have just let go of the rope and, probably would have gotten it would have been a tough finish for sure. But we fought, we found combinations of guys who are playing well together, particularly Alpi and Seawood. I was happy to see those guys play well together. And we cut it to, it was like 6 with 3 minutes to go. So, I'm proud of our group, and the fight is like you're saying is important, and, we need to continue it.
So there we go. And might as well follow up real quick, because Christian Wood commented on, he liked, sharing the floor with Alpi Sengun. So here we go from C Wood.
Everybody plays together. Everybody knows everybody's games, and we're starting to figure each other out, especially me and Alpi. We finally got to get on the court together for a few minutes tonight, and it was good. I felt like it worked out good. I was able to move off of him. He got easy touches in the post, and we just had to figure it out. Yeah, I was ready.
Yeah, I mean, you're smiling just talking about it. It seems like you guys just are much more well connected out there. Like you really.
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't played together a lot this whole season, so it's just me trying to figure out where he likes. He likes the ball in the post and just cutting off of him. So I think with more time and more minutes, it's a long season. We'll figure each other out, and we'll be a tough duo.
There it is right there. There'll be a tough duo, and I agree with that. I think we can see it. Seawood, the opponents can see it. The tandem, the potential of Christian Wood on the floor, sharing minutes with Alper and Sengun is there. Edwin Munoz would be picky with the wording of your statement here. The only way Sengun will get better is if he gets more PT. Disagree. Only, I don't agree with that word only, because I think he's going to improve just by time on the floor, coming off the bench. He's going to be fine. He's has a high basketball IQ player. He's going to get minutes, improving. Sengun plays well on the floor with DJ Augustine. Alpi plays well with almost any of the Rockets team players because he's a willing passer. He's got great vision, great basketball instincts. And his teammates are learning to move without the ball, learning to cut, because they know if they're open, Alpi's going to get them the ball. So being a willing passer, teammates love that. So he's got a bright future in the NBA. And his development, I've said it many times during these streams, these talks, I think he's surprised Rockets management, coaches, with how well and how quickly he's played and adapted and shined in the NBA this young season. So his future is very bright. And then, like I said, we'll get back to the initial part of this talk is Seawood trading. Will the Rockets trade Christian Wood? Should the Rockets trade Christian Wood? Question back to the fans. Rockets get top 10 first round pick. And one or two younger players in a trade for Christian Wood. Would y'all do that? Go on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As always, appreciate you chiming in. Would y'all do that? Top 10 pick. That's what I'm saying. Lottery pick is, 11 through 14. I don't know about all that. But top 10 pick and at least one young player from Team A for Christian Wood. Would y'all want that? Because, again, Christian Wood his timeline is different than the Rockets' timeline. He's 26, 20. I hope he's 6 years younger than C. Wood. So, with another pick. So, you want 2 picks for Christian Wood. Okay. Obviously, the Rockets, Rafael Stone should ask for the moon in a trade for Christian Wood and then negotiate for the moon and then see if it winds up on the stars. But ask for a lot. Don't be ridiculous like Daryl Morey. Because you notice now Daryl Morey in his pipe dreams, the Blazers said, okay, we're not trading Dame Lillard for Ben Simmons. And even Daryl Morey's being like, well, okay, I guess I'll have to come off my wish list a little bit. So, yeah. But all in on Sengun, this season. And I agree with you, Alan Luna. The trade, a team's proposal to Rafael Stone for Christian Wood has to be something, it's a no-brainer. It has to be something that he can't refuse. Rafael Stone cannot refuse. So that we agree on that. Don't just give him away for, a bag of bricks. Something stupid. And Rafael Stone, he's made some questionable moves, but don't give C. Wood away for 2 second-round picks in 2025. Something asinine like that. So, Jalen Smith from the Suns. Why do you say so, Fusion? Z City, Wiseman, Kuminga in a first. Some of the people I talked to in red, I'm not sure the Warriors want to give up on their young players like Wiseman, Kuminga because they are on cheap contracts. And even the Warriors have limits in what they want to spend. And it's not a bottomless well, in terms of money and tax money and all that. So they're considering, they're leaning right now. They're leaning toward keeping the youngsters. That might change between now and the deadline. We'll see. Christian Wood keeps playing great. And because the Warriors haven't, Clay hasn't come back and fit in. We'll see how the Warriors may be like, we're good. We're going to ride what we got for this season, and then go from there. So that could be one less team. So I just don't see, as of right now, I'm not sure the Warriors would give up on Wiseman and Kuminga for Christian Wood because just the cheap contracts, the rookie contracts, inexpensive contracts, cheap is all relative. But we'll see. Christian Wood has not let the trade rumors impact his game. Hasn't hurt his game. He's still playing well. He's putting up good numbers. He had 22 and 11 with 3 assists against the Grizzlies. He went 21-13, only 1 assist against the Bucks, but he did well against Giannis and the Bucks. Giannis just went Giannis, as elite players do. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the highest, what are the odds? Let me put this up there. Another question from Edwin Munoz. What are the odds the Rockets trade Eric Gordon this year? The highest. Got a little reverse scale. 1 being the highest. 4. My man Kelly Eco. We haven't talked about it lately, but I know he believes the Rockets will keep Eric Gordon because of his experience, his quality of ways he's produced. So Eco might go even lower and say the Rockets, just going to keep Eric. So maybe like an 8 or 9 if 1 is being the highest that the Rockets trade Eric Gordon. I would say, Eric is not playing in back-to-backs because of the tightness of his groin. So he did not play Saturday against the Grizz after the Friday game against the Bucks. So I wonder, he hasn't played back-to-backs, and he's touched on a little bit a few weeks ago to the media. So I'm not sure if the groin issue popped up after the game Friday against the Bucks, and he didn't want to risk it, or the physical performance staff did not want to risk any lingering issue with it. So got another back-to-back this week, Wednesday and Thursday. So I wonder if they'll sit him in the game against the Knicks on Thursday. So that could be an issue going forward, because will a team who trades for him want to be convinced, well, is Eric healthy enough to, if needed, play in both games of back-to-back? Rockets have the Hawks on Monday. Wednesday, game against Cleveland. That's going to be interesting because the Cavs are rolling, and the Cavs are tall and skilled. So, and then the home game against the Knicks before Saturday's 11 a.m. game against the Detroit Pistons, who have lost 12 in a row thanks to the 50-piece KD dropped on them this evening, despite Cade having like 26 and 8 and 3, whatever, something like that. Just not enough bullets in the gun for Detroit right now. It won't be for the rest of the season, so that's going to lose a lot the rest of this year. But Eric Gordon's playing well. He's still not a true point guard, so we see him struggling at times. We see him struggling against teams that decide to pressure him when he has the ball, which I'm surprised. I'm really honestly surprised. I'm surprised more teams haven't pressured Eric Gordon when he's running the offense to make him rush and with his loose handles out front, even coming up the floor. I think the Rockets will make a trade on December 15th. Well, that's when more players become available for trade, because guys who sign as free agents this offseason, got to be a great trade, Terry. Got to be a great trade for the Rockets. I haven't talked to Eco. I probably should contact him tomorrow, reach out to him. I don't believe he's going in Atlanta with the Rockets for the Hawks game, and see if he's heard anything about anything on the front burner. I know we were waiting for availability Wednesday of this week, and he was on the phone with somebody, and me and a colleague were listening, and we were like, is he talking about a trade right now? Getting trade rumor, trade details, trade proposal, I should say. He could bust it off. So I won't even go by what I heard, but it was just interesting what he was discussing. So, because it wasn't fantasy basketball, I know that for a fact. So, but we shall see. I think the Rockets will try to trade Daniel Tice to better suit him, because he is being a true pro, producing when called upon, starting when called upon, but he wanted more minutes. He expected to get starters minutes when he signed with the Rockets, and he sees that's not going to happen here for the rest of this season. So they'll probably look into that, look at a trade for him. Need something great to trade Eric Gordon, and then House got to get healthy and stay healthy. If a team wants to give up a second-round pick for House, I'll do it. I'm not sure the Rockets would do it because of his still some skills as a vet, good vet, locker room vet. Dave Nwaba, if a team wants to trade for Dave Nwaba, go ahead. What do y'all want? Because he hardly plays now. He's really out of the rotation, despite he gets some time because of all the injuries. Do I see KPJ continuing to play point guard for the rest of this year? Yes. I'm assuming Scoot and Jalen are healthy, get healthy soon enough. Yes. That what am I trying to say? That plan of the both of them in the backcourt and Scoot run the offense has continued. It will continue. I don't see that changing this season for sure, unless KPJ just proves he is not capable of handling running the offense. Has this massive steps back. So they're going to continue doing that experiment. So yeah. Do I see KPJ? The Silas had any input on trades? Some. Yeah. He and Rafael Stone talk about players and, pieces, fits. Yes, he has some. So that's, most coaches, I won't say he has a lot, but he does have some input and legit input. He has talked to you about that. Here's the feeling of some Rocket fans. Get Tice out of the lineup and start Şengün. But what it seems like the last few games, Tice will start, barring injuries or Eric Gordon not playing in a back-to-back. Tice will only start against teams that have bigger starting front courts. So if an opponent has a smaller front court and not a big dominant five, bruising five, he would have played a five, and Rockets would go small with Jason at the 4. So I think Tice is only going to get the starting minutes against bigger teams. So the question of how often that is. So kudos to Tice. He's not a long-term. He's no longer in the Rockets' long-term plans. He's not, heck, unless it's going against bigger teams, he's not even in the immediate plans. But he's not rocking the boat. He's being productive when Coach Silas calls on it. And right now, that's all you want from a pro. He's still doing his part. He's not shaking things up in the locker room. He's not being a bad apple. He's not, being a disruptor. So until the Rockets front office decides, hey, I'll be ready to get those starters minutes, Tice is going to be the spot starter against bigger teams. Until then, Tice will not play in most games against the smaller teams when the opponents go small ball. Trade Augustine and give Josh Christopher his minutes. Again, talking about DJ. DJ is a vet that Coach Silas leans on. And especially in games, especially with the injuries to KPJ and Jalen, DJ is the point guard on the team. Quote unquote, true point guard. Because Eric is not a true point guard. Jalen is not a true point guard. Scoot is not a true point guard. Josh Christopher is learning the position. We've seen sometimes Jayshawn Tate run the offense. A few times, Armani Brooks run the offense, bringing the ball to the floor, which is good to see Armani add to his game. Being more than just a three-point shooter, catch and shoot three-point shooter. Armani's added to his game, dribbling, getting assists, improving his rebounding, adding to his game, attacking the basket. So Armani has done more the last couple of weeks. Z City, why would you want the Rockets to land Ben Simmons? I just think chemistry issues, he'd be a horrible fit here for the Rockets. But since you suggested it, who would you want the Rockets to trade for Ben Simmons? And then who do you think Daryl Morey would take in return from the Rockets for Ben Simmons? Şengün is a point forward. He's a great facilitator. So, Sandoval, how you doing? Appreciate it. Glad you were able to join us on this Sunday. And real quick, most likely the next Rocket Talk is going to be this Friday, the 17th. So Rockets got the back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday, off on Friday. So probably have the next one Friday before they play Detroit Saturday morning. Yes, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. in Detroit. And we'll see if the Pistons are still on their double-digit losing streak, which they probably will be, even though they're playing the shorthanded Bulls on Tuesday. But Detroit shorthanded themselves, so whatever. But Wall, Eric Gordon House for Ben Simmons. Gordon House, Josh Christopher, and picks. No. Why would you want to? No. Rockets should not trade first round picks, include first round picks for John Wall. Just don't see it. No. I don't. No. Do not. This is my gut. The Rockets have won games lately, and without John Wall. So why give up first round picks in anything involving John Wall? So no, I just don't see that. Rockets are good vets. DJ is a good vet, solid vet. Tice is a solid vet. Eric Gordon, solid vet, playing better. One of the keys to the winning streak was the solid production of the vets like DJ, EG, and Tice in spot minutes. That helped. One of the things about the winning streak, as I've said, the big key, a big difference in the winning streak is a lot of players playing well together. 4, 5, 6 guys playing well in the same game rather than 1 or 2, as the case during that 15-game losing streak. So, and the vets were part of that. Rockets buying out John Wall, Abraham. John Wall is not, as of right now, and nothing's changed, John Wall is not going to give up any money. So he needs to, in my opinion, if he wants to play. But he's not, in his reps, he is not going to give up any money. So that's where that hasn't changed. Colleagues have asked Coach Silas, has anything changed, this past week? Has anything changed regarding John Wall? Nope. that was Coach's response. One word, nope. Nothing's changed. So nothing's changed. We see John was on the bench with the team Saturday against the Grizz. So he's still part of the team. But he's given no indication he's going to give up any money. So unless that happens, he's going to remain, y'all know it, he's going to remain Coach Wall. It's on him to give up some money for the buyout. And Marco makes a great point. The Rockets aren't going to be, they'll be better. They made strides lately to be improving this season. They'll be better next season, but they're not going to be a great team until John Wall's contract is up. And that's 2 years from now, 2 seasons from now. So what's the rush? It's on Wall to give up the money. The Rockets, I haven't checked the standings today, but they're still, 5 games out of a play-in spot? Despite being 5, 5.5, 5.5, 6. Despite being 8 and 18 in the West. That's without John Wall. So, unless John gives up that money, Dever Grant, that's a new name. Thank you very much. Happy Sunday to you as well. Till TILIS4. John, correct. He's earned that money. So until he decides to give it up, he's going to continue getting paid to not play. I haven't seen too much of the free John Wall social media stuff lately, but he's going to continue getting paid to not play. The Rockets are going to battle, compete, fight, scrap, be entertaining. They might win, they might lose, but they're good with where they are. So there's no rush. No signs point to a team giving them anything of value for John Wall. So just wait. Just wait. Rockets can wait for anything for Coach Wall. Who would I trade for Ben Simmons? If I'm a Rockets, I'm not sure I'd trade anybody for Ben Simmons. I'm not sure he'd fit here. Culture-wise, I'm just not sure. And I don't know, would Ben Simmons' mental issues disappear magically by going to the Rockets, coming to the Rockets, or any team for that matter? Is that just, I'm not saying he's making it up, but is that just a symptom of him being with the Sixers? And it'll just go away when he goes to another team? Because if he does have legit mental issues, I think Coach Lucas, John Lucas could work with him, but you need to be sure about that before you give anything up for Ben Simmons. So, and Abraham, Rockets got winning too many games to get Paolo right now. Yeah, I mean, it's Detroit, Orlando at 4 and 5, 4 wins, 5 wins. I think everybody else got 8 and up. So we'll see about that. All the players that said free John Wall or out of the league, yeah, your deal. That's a great point. John Wall is, and I said it, and I was being very, very honest when I said it. John Wall wants to be free from the Rockets, then give up some of that money. I don't see him doing that. And I'm not doing it's his money. So we can say all day long, you should give up that money. But hell, it's his money. So keep that money. But the point is very clear. If you want to play with the Rockets, definitely, it's going to be coming off the bench. And he's not ready to do that yet. So, I mean, this is the deal. If I were John Wall, I'd accept coming off the bench and take my money, what is it right now? 42 and some change this year, and come off the bench. And show teams I still got it. Show teams that I have value to trade for. That's what I would do if I'm John Wall. He's not a star anymore. He was a star. He was a hell of a player before the injuries. No question about it. But that's not him right now. That's not right. That's right now. He is still Coach Wall. And that's not a knock on him. He was a hell of a talent. But not anymore. And no, Sandoval, it was discussed. It was discussed about John coming off the bench. It was discussed. And I think it kind of took John and people aback. And they're like, what? No, I'm going to start. No. And the Rockets, once again, they're winning, or they're playing without him, and they don't want to win too much with him getting more minutes. This is analogous right here. Kevin Love is finally playing better and well off the bench. Still getting paid a lot of money off the bench. Cavs are in the playoffs. What are they, 5th seed in the East right now with a good record? It's hard once you were all NBA, all world. It's hard to swallow that pride, swallow that ego, and come off the bench. Understand that? I think most fans understand that. But we also, media and fans, realize and think that in order for John to showcase his talent, he's got to do it off the bench. He could do what DJ Augustine does, get that. And because of the Rockets and Eric Gordon not playing back-to-backs, John Wall could get those minutes from Eric Gordon when Eric doesn't play back-to-backs. Get those minutes. Last night, DJ started with Eric not playing. Friday, DJ played 18 minutes. John Wall could get that. 18 to 20 minutes. 18, 25 minutes. Come on, John. That's my take on it. Do I think, I don't know, I don't say scared. I think he's just proud. Yeah, I don't think it's scared. I mean, John's battle come back from a lot of injuries. And some of them, the heel and everything, were more serious than he let on. So I say pride. It's his pride. It's not a fear factor. Fear, scared. No, I think it's more pride. And that's understandable because he was an elite talent. But to showcase to other teams around the NBA, he still has talent, and it's not going to be elite for long stretches. He needs to get minutes on the floor and take them where he can get them. That's my take on that. He's still going to get paid all this money if he comes off the bench. So what's wrong with that? My take. Well, it always goes back to Coach Wall, and that's good. This is a new name I haven't seen doing these streams, and I agree. It's John Wall's pride. He wants a bigger role, and the Rockets are building a future, right? I go back to what I've said a few times. John and his folks should not agree to this scenario back in the offseason. Marco. Let's see. No, I think it's inevitable that Seawood and Shingun that all people will start. I'm just not sure it's going to be this month. Maybe January. After the All-Star break, possibly like that, when they, I think, trade Daniel Tice before or on the deadline in February. So, and Rockets released John Wall. Heck, basically he's released right now. They're just paying him to sit. So, which is amazing that Tillman Fertitta has been cool with paying a player to not play. Blake Griffin gave up a lot of money. But once again, all of us are saying, John, give up the money. It ain't our money. It's easy for us to say that. It's a lot of money. And he's not, more than likely, the money he gives up, if he does agree to do that, whenever, he's not going to get it back. In a new contract, I don't see him getting that back. So it'll be gone. So that's another thing that I think is reality staring him in the face. Nope, free. Ooh, Michael Scruggs, what? Man, I wish. I don't get free squat from Tillman at Covering Rockets or U of H basketball. No, free. No. U of H basketball, we get, how should I call it? Deli kind of sandwiches. Kind of, kind of like that. But Rocket games, you got to pay for it. Yeah, it ain't free media. Nope. Still got to pay for it. Nope. Those days are long gone. Free. Wow, man. Last time media got free food from the Rockets. Goodness. I'm not even sure if that ever happened. If it was, it's like $5, I think, and that was 25 years ago, maybe. So yeah, no. Only free stuff we get is draft night. Sometimes when it's pizza, and this is pre-COVID, pizza, chicken fingers, and that's it. And maybe fries. Chicken fingers, fries, and usually it's dried chicken fingers or cold chicken fingers pizza. So that's it. So water's free. Water's free. The soda dispenser free. That's it. Tea sometimes. Coffee's free. So basic stuff like that. But yeah, food-wise, no. Now the food, COVID-wise, I've heard this season, because I haven't been to a home game yet this season, is bad. It's not bad. It's random. It's not a set caterer. So some of it's bad and some of it's good, but it's nowhere as consistent as what it has been in previous seasons, which is kind of strange. But yeah, let me see. Go back up here to Dr. Pack. Will Matthews in a long-term role in the lineup, bench, or do I think? Oh no, I think he'll get traded. He shouldn't be traded. I think Garrison has a role on this team long-term. He and Armani Brooks have formed a great three-point shooting tandem. And Pretty Eye Pits, Shingun, Luis Scola comparisons, right on point. Legit with that. Alpi is a slightly shorter, I heard folks say, Joker. I'm good with that. Alpi might be a little bit more athletic than Joker. But Joker's a heavier, bigger dude. Peyton Thompson. When am I doing another with Locked On with JT? I need to ask him about that. I reach out to him and see. I'll probably text him this week and see. But probably won't be till January at the earliest because he's got stuff lined up. And so, yeah, it's going to be a while because we're doing Maurice Williams. Thank you very, very much for joining. New name there as well. Good to see new names on here. So props to all the people who are doing word of mouth and spreading the love about the Let's Talk Houston Rockets here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. We're talking, we got into food, Maurice, food and media. Does media get free food? Not really. And flights, no Fusion. If you're talking about free flights for media, no. Those days ended when oh my goodness, Ray Patterson was GM. That's early '80s. Before I even started covering the Rockets. No, those days are long gone. Oh yeah. What are my thoughts on Tate or Gordon, e.g., having to guard Giannis? This okay. I'm gonna bring, yeah. I get to Sandoval. I'm coming to you in just a second. What are your thoughts on this? Does it bother you that John he shows no emotion while he's on the bench? Well, when the cameras catch it. Do y'all care that he just seems to be kind of indifferent about while he's on the bench, that he's not hyped up? I mean, that's more of a youngster thing. I mean, you see Josh Christopher and the other youngsters on the team, they're hyped. All be on the bench, they're hyped up to it. But does that? I have already noticed that, but I mean, I guess John doesn't really show emotion while he's on the bench. Not that big of a deal to me, but it could be a concern. Some fans say it's a big deal. Some say they don't care. Trey doesn't care. It doesn't bother his teammates, doesn't bother the staff. So just go with it. When Jalen's healthy, great question. I'm gonna get back to Sandoval real quick. So, Draymond, I'm coming to you because got to talk about Gary Bird. Got to talk about him. My thoughts on Jay Sean or E.G. Gordon Giannis. I think both did a good job because Giannis is like a lot of taller players in the NBA when they're being defended by shorter players. They try to back those shorter dudes down rather than simply shoot over them. Giannis 7 feet tall. Jay Sean 6'4". EG 6'3", 6'4". Just shoot over them. When you try to back them down and you dribble, you put the ball down where they are, closer to them. So you're negating your height advantage. So I think EG even had a deflection strip. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. You really just want to make superstars work and make them uncomfortable. So they did a good job of that. The thing is, I'd rather have Giannis in the post rather than coming at me with a full head of steam. So because then he Euro step you or just shake and bake and dunk on you. Giannis in the post he's not as skilled in the post with his back to the basket as he is facing the basket and attacking the basket coming downhill, as in the basketball term, vernacular downhill attacking. When Jalen is healthy, should he come off the bench for Gary Bird? That is a good question. I think the Rockets will put Jalen back in the start lineup once he's healthy in 100% or as close to it as possible. So, and I think we'll get another gauge on the hamstring this week from the physical performance team and Coach Silas. I think the Rockets will start Jalen once he's healthy. If I were in charge, I'd bring Jalen off the bench and keep Gary Bird in the starting lineup. But as we know, I am not in charge. So Jay Sean is becoming a leader. Jay Sean is becoming a vocal leader. Jay Sean is showing on the court he hates losing. It was pissing him off down the stretch when the game against the Bucks on Friday that the lead was slipping away. You could see him being frustrated because the streak was about to end, winning streak was about to end. You could see the frustration in him against the Grizz, a loss. So it's good. Most of these pros, because I'm never going to say all of them should hate losing, but not all of them do. That's not a problem on the Rockets, but that's just being real, honest about it. Dr. Pack doesn't care about John Wall he doesn't want to be here. So motionless on the bench, not a really issue to me. Payton doesn't blame John Wall. He don't want to be here and he's not playing. So, and it's not an issue. I think his teammates understand it. So it's not a big deal. I'm not, he's Coach Wall. As long as he's Coach Wall, the Rockets are good with that. Would have taken the matchup against Giannis? No, some. But, see, Wood is not, he's not as strong. Probably may not be as strong as Jay Sean or EG in the post, So, question here. I'm going to say no once Scoot and Jalen return from injury and Eric is healthy. No, I don't think Josh will fit in the rotation. He'll be out of it. And once that at some point happens, he probably will spend some, another game or two back in the G League shining. But he's played well. And kudos to him. You could see the improvement in his game in a month. So, and got to give credit to the Rockets staff for developing their young players. You can see the development in Josh Christopher's game. You can see it in Armani's game. You can see it in Jayshawn Tate's game. Alpi Sengun, you can see the 3-point shot coming because he and Luke work on it a lot in practice. So you got to give props to their development, what they're doing for the players. What kind of contract would I give Jayshawn Tate? 9-10 million per. I'm good with that. Maybe 12 on the high end, maybe 12 million per, maybe. But he is a glue guy. He's got skills. His skills are coming through, shining. I hope his player reps, his reps, and him don't ask for the moon and price himself out of a spot with the Rockets when that time comes. So, but Maurice, John ain't gonna start. Coach Wall, he just not gonna start. I just don't see it. He's not going to start. He's going to have to accept the role, come off the bench, and until he does that, the Rockets are just going to continue playing without him. So, I'm good. I think the winning streak. I did not have a lot of concern, or nearly nowhere near as much concern about the people saying Stephen Silas' job was in jeopardy, and then the Rockets won 7 in a row. I don't believe his job is in jeopardy. I think they're allowing him to. You can see one thing Stephen Silas has been known for throughout his time as an assistant coach and other stops in the NBA is player development. So we're seeing it before our eyes, the development of the skill sets of the youngsters on this team. So why rock the boat? And there's no point. Is JG in practice or shoot around yet? He's in practice. Yes, he has been in practice. He did some work. Let's see, what's out there? Wednesday, I saw Wednesday. He's Thursday and Friday. He's doing some light work. When I was there Wednesday, he did. I don't want to give up too much away, but he's shooting around. Did some little shooting drills with Coach Lucas. But what I noticed, what I saw, when he did a few back pedals, I could tell it was an issue. I could tell it was his hamstring was still bothering him a little bit. So that's why I think the report, he's not ready yet. I think the physical report was Wednesday or Thursday, and they decided he's not 100%, so why rush it? Because that's what I saw Wednesday on his back pedals. Just basic, running from baseline and then backpedaling to free throw line, a little bit further 3-point line. He wasn't doing that full blast. So Jalen isn't, that was 2 days ago. So he's still not ready yet. 7 mil, 9 mil, I think 9 mil is going rate for a player like Jayshawn. Above that, I'd have issues with that. So let's see. Armani, great. Marco, you are correct. Armani's been more aggressive. He's added to his game. He's more aggressive driving to the hole, finishing at the bucket, taking on more of a role with the ball. I think he had 6 assists against the Bucks. Let's see. He had 3 assists against the Bucks. I think the game previously he had 6 assists. So he had another great game against Memphis. He had 18, 6 and 6. That's last night. 6 for 12 from the floor, 4 for 9 from 3. So that means he was 2 for 3 on 2. So he's adding to his game. Development, another example of the Rockets staff doing development, player development. Do I still ball? No, sir. I do not ball. My knees won't let me ball. Too many jump stops in my 20s, and my knees have take a pounding playing jump stopping on asphalt. And oh my goodness, my knees say no. My knees are like, yo, man, what are you trying to do? You can't do this anymore. You're not a youngster anymore. But I was good. I was good in the day. You know, I did okay at some playgrounds and parks. But too much wear and tear on my knees. No, cannot do it. And I was more defense. I was how should I phrase this? I won't say I was a hustler because we didn't play for money, but I took the role of I would shoot with my left hand and make it look like I can't play and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got on the court, I went to work. So yeah, I went to work with people. Yeah, I didn't think you knew that. Yeah, well, now you know. So Garuba, G League, and Abraham. Let me see your comment. Got to catch up on that. Talking about myself. Oh yeah, I'm not giving up on Jalen Green. Folks. Some of the folks talking about the Rockets. Notice the Rockets have won with Jalen not playing. Coincidence. It ain't because Jalen doesn't have skills, doesn't have talent. Jalen's not a bust. Forget that talk. Forget all that. That's not him. So Jalen's hamstring. I mean, let's see. The first diagnosis, the first mention of it was we will evaluate within a week. After 1 week, I thought then it was going to be at least 2 weeks. So we've gone beyond that a little bit. So I'm not surprised at, they're taking the time. They're not going to make this because he had an issue with the hamstring in the summer in Vegas. So don't want to make this a long-term thing, year in, year out. He's a youngster. So why rush him back? It's not necessary. So yeah, that's not necessary at all. No point in all that, And some of the hate, from I saw it. Jalen got doing this, whatever. Folks got to have something to talk about. Jalen has skills. His skills haven't disappeared. So no, the Rockets are winning because of spacing, and they're making threes. So yeah, please, I'm not gonna get into all that kind of stuff. But yes, oh yeah, I just welcome to you. Your new name, TJ K Penny 79. You're new to the show. Appreciate you joining the show. Thank you very much. But yes, Jalen is shooting. He's in practice. He is doing things. He's doing light work in practice. He's just not going full blast, 5-on-5, up and down, that kind of stuff. He's doing light work. He is doing some shooting. He's doing, dribble pull-up shots. So he's doing some work, yes. But that's, it's not a rush. This man should have a long career. So why rush him back with a hamstring and make it worse? Who was it? Wasn't there a player, I think an NBA player, who a few days ago announced that he's going to be out for the season with a torn hamstring? Damn. What did that person do? A torn hamstring for him to be out for the whole season, for the rest of the season. That's 4 or 5 months. Rockets don't want that with Jalen Green. No, don't do that at all. Maurice, I think you have a good point. I think people, and let me say this, and if you're new to the streams, I'll say it because I'm not ashamed of it. I've been a Detroit Pistons fan since 1986, but I think some of the people are seeing what the numbers Cade's putting up good numbers, but the Pistons have lost 12 in a row. But Cade is showing his potential in the numbers. He's playing better. the rest of his teammates are playing worse. They can't do squat. They can't make shots. They can't hold to the ball. They can't defend. And they're short and not athletic, all those things. So Cade's playing better, but Detroit's still losing. And I think the organization is okay with that. The players aren't, and they shouldn't be. But, whatever. Let me just go back to Fusion. Do I shoot around sometimes like for fun? I haven't in a while. I have not picked up a basketball. I think maybe I did at a practice. I have it at U of H practices. And that was like a year ago, maybe a year or two ago, for a little bit. So it's been a while. I have not touched a basketball in probably 2 years. Simple stuff like free throw shooting, talking junk with my media colleagues who cover the Cougs. But so it's but I've lost a lot. My my skills are gone, and I'm okay with that. I'll be 50 in March, and my time has passed. I still make free throws. That's about it. I couldn't stop any of y'all right now from scoring. I know that for a fact. So unless y'all are worse than me. So, but let's get into that. 9 o'clock, top of the hour almost here on Let's Talk Houston Rockets on the YouTube channel. Joshua Lewis, me and Duncan, I think my Duncan days were like around 18, 19, that was it. That was about it. That's it. I'm going to play this clip from Armani Brooks from post game from the Memphis game. So Saturday night, a little bit of Armani. The other voice you hear is from Chronicle Danielle Lerner. She, fills in when Jonathan Fagan doesn't travel with the team sometimes. But I met Danielle, ironically, when she was covering the Memphis Tigers 2 years ago, right? Yeah, 2 years ago. And now she moved to Houston to cover the Houston sports teams, Rockets, Astros, and some Texans, I think. But here you go. So that'll be the other voice you hear in this clip with Armani Brooks from Saturday's postgame.
Obviously, you guys reached better in the final minutes, but compared to the last game that you guys played in this building, just how far you've come, what are the main differences that you've seen?
I think just our chemistry. Earlier in the season, we were trying to figure out how we were going to play and, still figuring out each other's tendencies. But I feel like we've been getting better at that. And we're just playing harder too. A big thing is to bring that energy every night. And, I just feel like that's a big area of growth that we've came with. And, we just got to keep getting better at it.
I feel like when you and Josh first checked in, you guys were being really aggressive and really lifted that second unit. What was it like just playing with that group?
Yeah, that group is a really good group because that's the group that we practice with a lot. So we just got the chemistry with each other, knowing each other's spots, knowing each other's tendencies, and just helping each other play to their strengths. And I feel like that's a big thing with us. And as we continue to grow and continue to gel with each other, I think each unit can play really well together. Every unit can play well together.
There you go. Comments from Armani Brooks, U of H product from Round Rock, I believe. Well, I've seen his game develop a lot from his time at U of H to now. He touched on a little bit their chemistry with JC, Josh Christopher, and the bench brigade, because that's the unit that they're practice with. That five goes against the Rocket starters. So you see them on the floor. They do have better chemistry, and that's why you see them playing better together. So, and it's a bench unit, red white kind of thing. So it's good that Armani was 7 for 30 from three for a stretch this season with spot minutes. He's got more minutes, more consistent playing time, and he's making the most of it. And kudos to him. Thoughts on the draft? I talk about a little bit. TJ K Penny 79. We'll get into it more in January. Chet Holmgren, Paulo Banchero, Jabari Smith from Auburn. I'm kind of curious. I read of, yesterday or Thursday, and NBA scouts do not have a lot of concern or don't have concerns yet about Jalen Duren and his up and down, inconsistent performances at Memphis. One reason is because he's so young and Memphis has no good point guard to help him out. Jalen Duren, I think, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this from a draft perspective. Jalen Duren's defense is way ahead of his offense. Would that be okay for Rocket fans if the Rockets drafted Jalen Duren, knowing that his defense is so far ahead of his offense? Or do you rather see Apollo completely says comparing Jalen to Andre Drummond? Okay, let's go with that, because Andre Drummond still gets double doubles. Andre Drummond, what's your issue, Apollo? Seriously, no hate at all. Andre Drummond, his offensive game really still has yet to develop a lot, but he's a double-double guy. I think he's gotten better defensively. So what's your issue with Drummond? And he's still in the league, so he's still productive. Dwight Howard, Terry. Which Dwight Howard? The younger years, Dwight Howard, he was the best defensive player in the NBA. You know, he was all defense. He was everything. So that Dwight Howard, or the Dwight Howard with the Rockets, with James Harden, which Dwight Howard? And Jalen Duren, 17 years old. So there's no way I'd give up on Jalen Duren. Come on now. So, but seriously, low IQ, low skill plays. Okay, that's fair. Because Drummond, his IQ, his basketball IQ is. I questioned it. I questioned it when he was with Detroit. So yeah, I had issue with that. Jalen being so young, he probably would have done better staying in high school for development purposes, because he does look lost on offense. Truly, no question about it. He looks completely lost. Doesn't know what he's doing. Setting screens. Fundamentals. He looks lost. He does. But again, with the Rockets' development, would y'all want the Rockets to draft Jalen Duren because of how well the Rockets develop players, their younger players? Jalen will probably get drafted alone because of his potential. Period. His athleticism and his defensive potential. Period. He'll go high because of that. Fans, y'all be good with that. Jennifer, thank you very much. Let me go back up to the Chet Holmgren. Yeah, Henry, I'm good with you. I'll agree with you. Chet's too skinny for me. I know he's skilled. I see it. I'm gonna call him a force, but he's so long. He can block shots. He's an intimidator. He does have decent handles for somebody 7'2", 7'3". He might still be growing taller. He's not gaining weight. I just don't. He's just too skinny for me. Teams aren't concerned with that. I don't see I don't want the Rockets to draft Chet Holmgren. I just don't see it. I'm not sure what position he'll be able to play in the NBA. Game in, game out. Yeah, I see his skills. He can knock down shots from the outside. I just don't. That frame worries me. Apollo, I agree. No, yeah. Jalen needs a whole lot of work. But once again, you follow basketball. NBA teams will draft on potential. They'll draft players on the athleticism of that player, period. Because they believe that they can make that athleticism into a basketball player. So I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But he needs a whole lot of work. No doubt about it. But Kofi Coburn, skilled big man, old school big man, not today's big man in the NBA. So I don't know. I'm not sure what team he'll fit, which is a shame because he's got skills. Chet does have upside. Let's do that. Apollo and Rocket fans, would y'all want the Rockets to draft Chet Holmgren? Chet Holmgren and Alpi Şengün as your 4-5 tandem core of the future. Would y'all want that? Abraham, Christian Wood, Rockets get a great offer for C. Wood. Yep, he'll be traded. 2 first-round picks at minimum, and 1 or 2 youngsters. Yep. How good is Paolo defensively? Because of his strength, I think he's better on the ball. Chet is so long and lanky. You know, he can recover and block some shots, but he's just so thin. For me, okay, I'm not Rafael Stone, but I'm asking you guys, would y'all be good with a Şengün Chet 4-5 combination? So that's what I'm thinking about that. Because I think Mike Schmitz, discussed that with ESPN draft folks. I think he discussed that combo, Chet and Şengün. But because I'm not convinced Chet is ever going to get bigger for sure. He might, put on a few pounds here and there, but stronger. I'm just not sure. I don't care how much older he gets, gaining, grown man weight. I'm not sure how much he'll do with that. But oh my goodness, I can see he got skills. Saw the skills when he was with USA Basketball. I think he and his high school team went against the Monty Bates team, and Chet was the star of that game. So, oh yeah, he's got skills, no question. Who is my franchise center in college basketball right now? It doesn't matter. Kofi Cockburn is probably the best center in college, but that his skill set does not equate to today's NBA, which I'm not a fan of. But today's NBA they want perimeter shooting bigs. They want more skilled bigs. They don't want back to the basket bigs. So, that's me, James Tryon. Thank you very much. A lot of folks seem to be good / okay with an Alpi Chet Holmgren tandem. It wasn't my fear, Terry, about drafting Evan Mobley, but Evan's slim, but Chet's slimmer than Evan Mobley. I mean, yeah. So, Apollo, we need to talk, man, because you're a Pistons fan. So, because Detroit needs. I'd be good with all 5 of those you name. Because Detroit has one good player taller than 6'10", because Trey Lyles ain't it. Kelly Olynyk is hurt. He's one good player taller than 6'10". Do I have Jaden Ivey over Chet Holmgren? Well, I haven't done mock drafts yet. No. Because I know it sounds like I'm flip-flopping. I like taller, skilled players. So because Chet is a tall, skilled player, I'd take him over Jaden Ivey. Yes. But for the Rockets, his frame, Chet is just so thin. He's just so thin, so skinny. And for some people tell me he's gained weight this year, really? Bless his heart. That's old man mindset, saying that. Bless his heart. I just don't see it. But, and I've said since July, I thought the Rockets should have drafted Evan Mobley. Even though I knew they weren't going to, but I thought they should have drafted Evan Mobley. Rockets will see him Wednesday, barring injury between now and, Wednesday. Rockets have the Cavs on Wednesday, so we'll see how it all works out there. Rocket fans, I'll probably have this at your fingertips right now because I'd have to look it up real quick. What picks do the Rockets have right now going forward? I'm sure somebody has that at their fingertips. I'll have all that stuff as I get more and more, put my slides together and going forward as we're doing these Let's Talk Houston Rockets, put my study sheet together and have everything ready for you in terms of picks and free agents and things like that. Going forward, probably, like I said, January, we'll get into those things. 5-23. Yep. And the 5 is because of record. And that's based on, lottery picks could get jumped. Question for y'all. Are y'all okay? Let's see. like I said, the Rockets are not far from a play-in. Do y'all want, because y'all know I don't, but do y'all want, as Rocket fans, want the Rockets to make the play-in? That's 7 through 10. And 7 through 10, that means that first pick will not be fifth, because that'll be record. So we're looking at 11 through 14, something like that. Do y'all want that? Do y'all want the Rockets to make the play-in? They are 3 games out of the 10th spot. 3 games about 9 and 10, because Portland, Minnesota are 11 and 15. Do y'all want that? Heck, they're 5 out of 7th and 8th behind Denver, who are both 13 and 13. It shows growth. Shows growth, okay, but shows growth if you get what you get with the growth. See, we can get right here with depends on how deep this draft is. See, Deverick disagrees. Where is it? With Greenleaf comment. Greenleaf says yes because it shows growth. Deverick says no. I don't see it. I think the Rockets need another high pick. And I mean high pick. And Apollo, amen. Pistons suck. And the injuries pile up too now. So even if they tried to win, and they have tried, they're just not good enough. The injuries add up. The injuries are adding up, guaranteeing the Pistons are going to suck and tank. So I'm okay with that. So I'm thinking long term too, Alan Luna. I seem to be in the minority of that discussion, even among colleagues here in town. They think the Rockets should try to make the play-in because they're not far, in the West, as opposed to the East. If the Rockets are in the East with their record at 8 and 18, they would be 4.5. Let's see, 4.5 out of 10th, and 6.5 out of 7th. So, Terry, that's part of it. Pistons have a lot of injuries, but they also have very little talent and very little athleticism. But I don't want to get too, off the beaten path about let's talk about Houston Rockets here on the stream. I think the Rockets need one more high draft pick and then be good to go because the foundation is here. The pieces are here with Jalen Green. He's still part of my foundation. I don't believe we have any haters on this stream here. But Josh Christopher, Alpi, Oos have skills. That's 4 right there. Scoot. Some of y'all could argue, discuss, don't need Scoot part of the long-term future of the Rockets. And I would not dispute that. Because they're going to get to a point of how much money do you want to give Scoot? How much money do you think Scoot is worth from the Rockets? So, and this is the point. I agree with this, James. I think the Rockets are ahead on the rebuild, but I think one more high pick will help it along even more. But I'll say this, and this is where I really want y'all to really think about. What if, like I said, 9 and 10 spot in the West is 4 games under 500? So what if the West continues, Portland and Minnesota continue to underachieve? Depends on who you ask about that. Maybe Minnesota you think is underachieving. I don't know. But if they continue to keep the Rockets close, if the Rockets may end up with 25 wins. That'll be more, exceed my 21 prediction. But what if that 25, just 25, I'm just throwing it out there, 25 wins is, and on pace with that. So we're saying come March, the Rockets are only 3 games out of the 10th spot. because the other teams in the West suck. And y'all want the Rockets to go for it? Let's go back another month. What if the Rockets are 3 games out of the 10th spot as the deadline approaches, the trading deadline? Y'all want them to go for it? Make a deal to add a piece to make a push for the play-in because they're only 3 games out of the 10th spot February 1st? So something to think about there. Something for y'all to think about, because, I'm going to cover the team either way. Do I see Şengün and Banchero fitting? Yeah, I think so. A little different, because I think, Şengün can play the 5 more, and Paolo can be a 4, and Paolo could probably be a 3 in big lineups. So, yeah, Paolo grew. He had handles, and then he had a growth spurt. So, yeah, I think so. But think about it. If the Rockets come February 1st, and they are 4.5, 3 right now, as of December 12th, if they are only 3 out of the 10th spot, so the play-in, because it's 7 through 10 seeds, February 1st, would y'all want them to make a deal to boost their chances of getting that play-in spot? So there's a question there. Rockets they have assets, they got picks. I just don't believe the Rockets should trade any first round picks for anything involving John Wall. I just don't agree with that mindset if they do that at all. No, just don't. So a few fans saying no, don't do it. Rockets Hawks tomorrow, Monday. Heck, let's just break it down. What y'all think? Rockets gonna beat the Hawks on Monday? Will they beat the Cavs on Wednesday? Will they beat the Knicks on Thursday? Knicks have lost 3 in a row. Hawks lost. They're back at 500. Cavs are 16-12 in the 5th spot. Half game out of 4th. Out of Hawks, Cavs, Knicks. First 2 on the road, Knicks are at home. Those 3 games. What do y'all predict? Rockets go 0-3, 1-2, 2-1, 3-0. Jamon, 3-0. You are an optimist. Maybe even an eternal optimist. So, okay, we got 1-3-0. And if they do that, they'd be even closer to the play-in. Lose to the Hawks, beat the Cavs and the Knicks. So 2-1. Alan Luna says 1-2. Fusion Velez says 2-1. Let's see. What would I say? I think they're going to lose to the Cavs for sure. I'll probably lean more toward 1-2. I think they're going to lose to the Hawks as well. So we got more 2-1s. I'm probably leaning more. So you got beat Cavs, Hawks lose to the Knicks. 2-1. I'm kind of curious to see what the Knicks, where their mindset is as a team. I think, ironically, who would have thought this back in October? If you looked at the schedule, that if you would have looked at these 3 games, that right now, back in October, out of these 3 games, that the toughest opponent of the 3 will be the Cavs. But that's where he is right now. You wouldn't have said that in October. But as of today, the Cavs are the toughest of those 3 opponents for the Rockets. Could the Rockets beat the Hawks? Sure. Because it's a road game, I don't believe they're going to. And I think the Cavs are playing better. They're playing the best of those 3 teams. So, Pookie, I'm not a fan. I'm media. I'm just telling you, giving my thoughts on it. Rockets could beat the Hawks. Rockets, they could win all 3. I think that's very, very unlikely. Because again, one thing, the Knicks game is a back-to-back. So will Eric Gordon play in that game because it's that game of the back-to-back? That seems unlikely. And then we'll see the status of everybody else. So James says the Rockets are for sure beating the Knicks. I need to reach out to my colleagues up in Rochester, one of them specifically, who's a diehard Knicks fan. Do radio with them on Fox Sports 1280 Rochester sometimes. He was all talking a lot of junk when the Rockets were rolling. When the Knicks were rolling earlier this year. Haven't heard from him since the Knicks started struggling. Apollo, Rockets play Tyson big lineups against bigger opponents. So he'll. Let's see, we got Clint and John Collins. Probably get some time tomorrow. He probably get time against the Cavs, against their trees. So, okay. So James, now you're back taking it back because you didn't realize it was back to back with the Knicks on Thursday. That's fair. Knicks fans, Knicks fans are frustrated. I think Knicks fans want Tibbs to play the youngsters more rather than the old heads. I think that's what they want. We got Maurice loves the Jalen Green addition. I think most Rocket fans do, not all, but most love his potential, and most of the young Rockets have a lot of potential, and we're seeing some of it already. Some of it is a little ahead of schedule, and we'll see how they adjust to a scouting report going around the NBA when teams, learn a few tendencies of the Rockets youngsters, of Josh Christopher, of Alpi Şengün, and make them adjust and do different things. Adjust more running Garrison Matthews off the three-point line. See teams do more of that. See teams do that more with Armani Brooks and see how they adjust after the game, do something more than shoot threes. We'll see how many teams stop going under screens for Armani and Garrison Matthews and go over them instead to run them off that line. We'll see. Why are they struggling? The Grizzlies are a bad matchup for the Rockets, but the Grizzlies did a good job of running the Rockets three-point shooters off the three-point line. Do I believe in picking the best available or best fit in the draft? Depends on the team. Apollo, I like the best player. I'm going to go best player. That's really where I lean. And because it could open up trades down the line in the summer after the draft. Give me the best player and I'll figure out something. I'll make it work. If I got too much talent, I can get rid of too much talent. I can trade for too much talent. So that's my thought process on that. Because some teams, and you say you are a Pistons fan, the Pistons don't have a lot of talent. I mean, I think that's clear. It's more obvious daily. And it's not talented and not athletic. But signs are there, cap rooms, cap space in the summer, all that kind of stuff. The most beautiful stroke in the league. I mean, Steph has probably the quickest. Beautiful. Marco, I'm probably going to still say Steph. I'd have to think about that, though. Because it's not something not a question that I think about. So we'll see. Right. And Terry, this is one of my comments that I wanted to see from the Rockets at the start of the season. They're competing. They're playing hard. Now they've been making shots. They've limited their mistakes, which they weren't doing during the losing streak. Let's see, against the Grizz. See, they went back to some of the old habits against Memphis, missing 10 free throws and the 16 turnovers. So that's an issue. And don't go back into those bad habits. That's my thing. Don't go back to the bad habits. But those bad habits could result in more losses, which could result in more chances for a higher pick in the draft. So we shall see on that. And OKC right now, OKC is 8-18. So OKC, Rockets, and the Pelicans each have 8 wins. Of those 3 teams, probably people, although a lot of folks question the fit of the pieces in New Orleans, but of the 3 teams, I think New Orleans probably will be the one of those 3 you did not see having 8 wins after 29 ball games. I don't think people are too surprised about OKC and the Rockets being 8-18. But, I think Shea wants to win. He got paid. Sure. SGA got that money. And at some point, he should want to win. He should be tired of losing. He should want to be on a playoff / championship contender. And I don't see that happening in OKC anytime soon, but that's up to him and his folks. So, and BI was injured through Marco as well. But also, New Orleans for some parts of this season, they weren't competing. They weren't playing hard. They weren't playing smart. They were just a bunch of individuals, weren't a team. So that's part of it also, new head coach Willie Green. But okay, going to wind it up. I'll give y'all props, as always. I always give y'all props. Let me see. A lot of head of schedule. They are. I don't know about a lot, but I think they are ahead of schedule. On the rebuild. Yes, I do so. I think that. But props to Rocket fans, as you always do, and apparently a Detroit Pistons fan as well, making these 90 minutes fly by. Because I promise you, in my mind, I'm going to have to go to reach 60 minutes. In my mind, I prepare myself just trying to get to 60. And y'all always, we always seem to manage to get to 87 to 90 plus. So kudos to y'all, as always. And like I said, the next one, haven't seen Brandon on today's stream. But the next Let's Talk Houston Rockets will be, as of now, will be scheduled for Friday, December 17th. So we can talk about the 3 games so far that would have taken place, and then look forward to, somewhat discuss the Saturday matchup at 11 a.m. Central Time, Rockets at the Pistons. So as always, Terry, thank you very much. Jennifer, thank you. Alpha G, Maurice, Sandoval, Marco, Henry, Alan, Fusion Velez, James. Y'all, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for the questions. And we will talk again Friday, let's say 8 o'clock Central Time. Jennifer, thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. And see you Friday with the rest of the Rocket fans on Let's Talk Houston Rockets. I am KG of the Houston Roundball Review. Kris Gardner, KG. Houston Roundball Review, been around since 1994. Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. Houston Roundball Review on IG. The HR Review on Twitter. Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. See you Friday. Y'all take care. Peace.